Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. My name is Yamitra Jojo Waldo, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Great morning, everybody. Stretch that out. Get oxygen flowing to the brain this morning. Y'all, I tried to braid this, and it's a little too much today. Great morning, Miss Valerie. Great morning. I hope everybody's had an amazing week. I'm sorry I'm doing hair, y'all, in the middle of the... Hope you had an amazing week and that you're ready to get this weekend started. I know I am. It's been a good week. It's been my first week back from vacation. And it was interesting. So let's get started with the Fearless Morning Show. Please make sure you share the show because sharing is caring. And if your friends and family do not have Facebook, don't forget we have a YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning Shows, and I'll paste that there for them as well. And do not forget the Great Girlfriends, the Live Past Crazy Girlfriends Retreat. It's coming up August 23rd through the 25th, and I would love to have you there. All right, so here's the quote of the day. The quote of the day is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. People only see what they are prepared to see. People only see what they are prepared to see. And I know I talk a lot about, so a lot of times, I don't know how I want to say this. A lot of times I talk about the mindset, how you think, when you think, what you think about. I talk about your environment. Of course, how to live past, and these are all the elements of how to live past crazy. And it is my hope and desire that the questions that I ask or the thoughts that I give make you stop and think for just a moment. I hope it plants a seed for you so that later on it's something that you can think about and have conversation about with other people and or yourself, so that, you know, maybe you start to think differently than what you previously have done before. I know for me, that was essential and a vital part of my journey to live past crisis. I had to think differently, and that meant I had to have different conversations with different people, and I could not have the same conversation with my friends that I had. I couldn't have that conversation with them. So I had to find other people to have different conversations with. And my frustration came a lot of times when I tried to have, I call them deep conversation, life-changing conversation, intellectual conversations. When I tried to have them with people who were not ready to receive it, who were not ready to hear it, or who did not care. And then I would become frustrated because here I am on this journey, changing and growing, and I didn't have anybody to talk it out with and share it with. And that's how it became important for me, for my purpose partners. And I didn't have a name for them then, but I just started integrating different people into my circle, because if I did not, then the conversations I wanted to have, I wasn't going to be able to have them because the people in my circle couldn't understand them. And then I was going to get mad and frustrated at them because they couldn't see or hear or understand what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to say, and the depth and the level of the conversation I wanted to have. Good morning, Lynn. They couldn't understand that because they were not on the same level I was. They were not on the same growth level that I was on. They may have been able to match me mentally on other conversations, but on certain conversations, they were not on the same growth level that I was on. And so I couldn't get mad at them, although I did. And I get mad and I get frustrated because I didn't understand. I didn't understand how they didn't want to grow and how they didn't want to talk about this. Yeah, they were not ready, and it frustrated me. And then I found myself in a spot of trying to force them to grow. And you know what happens when you force people to grow? They stop altogether. And then it becomes a fight of the mind, or the fight of the will. Good morning, Kiba. Because you're trying to get them to do something they don't want to do. And so I had to realize that if I was going, yes, yep, 3 groups of partnerships, reason, season, and life. Amen, Miss Valerie. And I had to come to the hard realization. I had to come to several. One was, it was not my job to change them. 2, it was okay for them to think and be how they wanted to think and be. And 3, it was okay for me to leave them there and to continue on. Like, I didn't have to stop being a friend because they didn't want to have the depth of conversation that I wanted to have, or they didn't see things I wanted to see. That didn't mean I can't be your friend. That meant I had to redefine the limits of our friendship. Right. And mine have gotten fewer and fewer, and it hurt my feelings. I ain't even gonna lie. It hurt my feelings to the core. And I probably called all of my new friends and told them about it. And I probably sounded like a little girl, but she's my friend, and I really want her to be my friend, but she doesn't. And they were looking at me like, and that's not her job as your friend, not her. Or that person, is not their job. It may be your new friend's job for you to call them and say, hey, this is the business idea, or hey, this is how I'm feeling mentally and emotionally. It may be that new person's position. Doesn't mean I stop being friends with the other people. It simply means I redefine and understand the limits or the expectations of that friendship so that I'm not hurt. And I'm not trying to force them to do something that they don't want to do, or they don't I ain't gonna say don't have the capacity to understand. They are not prepared to see. Right? People only see what they're prepared to see. And I was prepared to see something different. And I was prepared to see something different than what my family saw, what my mother saw. And because I was prepared to see something different, it changed the dynamics of my relationships. Willingly or unwillingly, when your vision starts to change, when the concept of you starts to change, when you start to understand things different, there's no way your relationships are going to stay the same with people. And I thought they would. And I know in the beginning I was naive, and that's okay. Because I was thinking, I'm growing, I'm reading these books, and I'm going to these seminars, and I'm listening, and I'm learning so much about myself, and this is good. You know, I get to redefine, and I'm all excited about all the things. And I think we have to be careful right here, because when we get excited and we're on this journey and we're changing, nobody is going to understand your level of excitement that are not ready to be on that level of excitement. You understand what I'm saying? Whoever is not, if they're not changing with you, but you have decided to change, willingly or unwilling, those relationships are going to change. Your level of understanding changes, and their level of understanding may stay the same. So as you're going here, they're staying here, and they're screaming up to you, what are you doing? Or they are anchored to you because it's your mama, it's your brother, your sister, your daddy, your cousin. And so they're anchored to you, meaning we have a family tie or a deep friendship tie, and they're jerking on you. So the harder you're trying to go here, the harder they're jerking you. It's like, what are you doing, JoJo? This is not what we do. This right here is what we do. And they don't understand that here no longer is satisfactory for you. It no longer satisfies your soul. It no longer edifies your mindset or who you are. And in fact, it is a aggregate. It is an irritant. It is frustrating to you to stay here when you start to introduce new information into yourself. It is harder to stay here. And so you don't have any choice but to keep going. And people only see what they're prepared to see. And if they are only prepared to see you thinking you better than everybody else because you're moving on, that's all they're going to see. You can talk to you blue in the face to tell them that's not it. I'm just trying to better myself. I'm trying to better my relationships. I'm trying to better my life for my kids and for you guys. Because if I'm better, then when you come to me, I'm going to be able to help you more. And they may not be ready to see that. And it was hard for me to accept. It wasn't for them to see. It wasn't. I had a whole pity party around that for years. All the time. And then when I say, okay, I'm over it, then it would come back up again. Because I would lapse right back into, oh, well, I got this great thing going on. Let me call so-and-so and tell her. And then I would call the person and they'd respond. This is classic of how you know if people are interested or not, or how they care about what you're doing. Oh, well, now tell me about that little thing you're doing again. You know, that's great. Girl, let me tell you what happened at work today. Them folk got on my last nerve. And instantly after you share something earth-shattering, like, ooh, I got this mind, I had this thought, and this is what I'm thinking about, how I'm going to change in my mindset and how I'm going to change my relationships. And they're not interested. They quickly redirect the conversation back to one that they're safe with, because it makes them uncomfortable to have conversations about growth or living or being different, because they can only see what they're prepared to see. And they're prepared to see what they're seeing right now, because what they're seeing right now has always worked for them. Am I wrong, Lynn? I'm not wrong. People say, and I had to learn that the hard way, because me hard-headed, I would try to redirect the conversation back. Oh yeah, well, I'm glad you had a bad day at work, but girl, let me finish telling you about this thing. So I got asked to speak here and I'm a little nervous and I don't know, and then the conversation would go right back to, girl, these kids getting on my nerves. I hate this job. Look at this. And it would go right back. And my feelings, I would be 38 hot, number one. Because, oh, she not my friend. Oh, who does she think she is? She not my friend. She not even going to listen to me. And so I'm making her to be an evil person when she's not. They can only see what they're prepared to see. They can only accept and understand what they're willing to accept and understand. And here I am putting that expectation on her when she or them, your mama, your sister, your brother, whoever, have set their expectations very clearly. They have set their expectations of, I don't want to change. I like where I am. In fact, I like it so much, I'm going to decorate it and I'm going to stay here for the next 50 years until I die. So you may want to, I was 38 hot, honey. You may want to stay here, but I don't want to. And I could not get mad at them because my expectation was to not stay there. My expectation was to continue on. And so I had to understand that it didn't mean they loved me any less. It meant they loved me by what they were prepared to see. They loved me by what they could comprehend. They loved me as far as their knowledge and comprehension, truth, scaredness, and faith could take them. So they couldn't love me to the level of my faith. They couldn't love me to the level of my faith. They could only love me to the level of their faith. I need to write that down because that's good. Let me tell you, they couldn't do it. And then I couldn't get mad at them because they don't understand it. My faith is not your faith. My level of expectation is not yours. my level of action or non-action is different. And it is okay. It's okay. It is okay. And so where that left me was in a great opportunity to find new friends, in a great opportunity to find purpose partners, to a great opportunity to venture out, to figure out more of JoJo, because my friends kept me exactly where I wanted to be. Sometimes our friends and our environments keep us exactly where we want to be. Until you start challenging it, until you start wanting to see it differently, you accept it. As kids, we accept everything our mama say till we get grown or older, and then we start seeing things differently. I can't get mad at my children because they see things differently. Now, the mom in me may want to say, that is going to be such a headache and you're going down, you're going to hit that brick road. But at the end of the day, that's their decision to make. I can only inform and educate. I can't forcefully make them change. And once I understood that people only see what they're prepared to see, and that they can't love me to my level of my faith, then it became easier. Then I enjoyed our friendship more. Because in the beginning, I wasn't enjoying their friendship. I wasn't, because I thought they were against me. They didn't like me. They weren't caring about me, when that wasn't the case at all. It was simply they didn't understand and they couldn't comprehend. And they were doing the best they could on the level that they were on. Right. Exactly. Because whichever one you have is going to decide your growth or your non-growth. It's either going to decide if you stay or if you go. And once we understand people's levels of expectancy, and that level of understanding, it's going to be easier on us as we continue on this journey. Because some people we can't, y'all know people talk about all the time, you can't always take people with you. And it may hurt to leave them because you have so much more to show them. And if they could just see it for just 2 seconds, how much better it would be than to stay here stuck in this and to complain about this. Then you have to realize people are only prepared to see what they want to see, and they like what they see, and they like the life of complaining, and they like the life of lack, because y'all know what I'm going to say. They're addicted to the story, and they're addicted to the outcome of the story that they're going to get by telling that. And so why would they tell their story any different? Why would they want to move past that when it's giving them what they want? Right. Oh my God, Miss Valerie. If Miss Valerie is building a business, Lynn is on here, she's building a business, and we all know once we get familiar with something in our business and we think we got that part down pat, but then the good Lord pushes us to grow even more. And you're like, well, Lord, I know this already. But he keeps saying, oh, but you need to keep going. And it's letting go of the familiar of our friends, our situations, our family, our relationships. We can't avoid the challenges of change. And if we're change equals challenge. We can't avoid it. And if we're not careful, we'll fall into what is familiar. Then we're going to fall into self-sabotage. Then we're going to fall into distractions. And then we're going to have that fear of, I'm not good enough, the fear of destruction, the fear of nothing is going to work out right because who am I? And y'all remember I said I was going to stop saying who am I? You know, I'm just JoJo from North Carolina. That's who I am. I'm no longer going to say who am I? Who am I to tell you anything? Who I am is JoJo from North Carolina. I am the daughter of Gerald Waddell and Sophronia. I am the girl that worked at McDonald's. And that's who I am. And that makes me who I am. and my journey to be such that I am the only live past crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? I am that. And so when we get stuck in familiar complacency, then we start to think about who we are. Then we start to question then you start to really have that question, who am I? Who am I to change these things? Who am I not to? Right. You have the choice to make a change. That's right. And let me tell you, if you're choosing not to make a change, you're choosing not to change. If you're choosing not to make a change, you're choosing not to change. Because whether you're making a decision or not making a decision, you're making a decision. And that's it. When you say, I don't know what I'm going to do, you're making a decision to stay the same. Until you change that. People only see what they're prepared to see. And they can only understand what they have the comprehension of understanding. And the minute I let go of my expectations that I had placed on everybody else, that it wasn't their responsibility, my relationship with them changed, because I wasn't enjoying the friendship. I wasn't enjoying any of it because I had placed an expectation on them to support me in my change when they didn't ask me to change. And they didn't say, hey, JoJo, I'm going to support you in your change. They made it very clear they support me in me staying the same. That's what they support. They support me staying the same. And eventually, that wasn't enough for me. And when it became not enough for me, I had to change for myself. Or else I was seeing what they could only see. And it didn't sit well with me. I couldn't continue living that way. And until it becomes urgent, until it becomes life-threatening, and it became life-threatening for me. It was life-threatening for me to stay where I was. Life-threatening, meaning I was going to die if I stayed where I was at. Forget domestic violence. Forget that. Forget the mental and the emotional. I was going to die there because my mental and my emotional was not being fed what it was seeking. And what it was seeking was so much more than what my environment could give me. And here I am trying to force my environment to give me something it couldn't comprehend. It couldn't even possibly give me. And so that's when you change your friends. That's when you change your purpose partners. That's when you do all the things that you have to do so that you can have people around you. They can help you see, take what you see here to help you see it here. Remember, that's one of the keys of purpose partner. Somebody's going to help me take what I see here to help me see it here. People only see what they are prepared to see. It's no fault of their own. Doesn't make them any less. And y'all, I had a hard time with that. Like, I've grown past it, but I had the hardest time ever with that, because I wanted my friends to grow, and I wanted them to grow with me, and I wanted my family to grow with me, and I wanted them to have all the things that I knew that they could have, and I knew that they could do and be, but they didn't want it. And I had to be okay with them not wanting more, and saying it's okay for you to want just what you want. Just because I want more and I want better, it didn't make them any better or any worse than me. It just made them who they are, which makes me who I am. I want more, so therefore I'm going to go seek to get. But for those who are right here, they're not seeking to get anything. They're seeking to maintain, and maintaining is what they're doing. People only see what they're prepared to see, by Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorite authors, poet and writer. People only see what they're prepared to see. And then to bring it on home, we have to be prepared to see what they can see. Meaning, I may see something different, but I also have to prepare myself to understand what they see is what they want. And I cannot project my vision onto them. I can't force my vision onto them. I can share it. I can be the change that they need to see. I can strengthen my voice by speaking my truth. I can move because I may think that they're waiting to hear my voice and they're not going to move until I move. But I can't force my vision on them. So I have to be prepared to see that they are only prepared to see what they can see. And if you're not prepared, it can lead you right where I was at: frustration, anger, upset. And I was downright mad. Like, I was mad. Like, why would you not want more out of your life? Why would you want to accept this? Is this really what we were born? This is not what we were born to do. You just want to do the bare minimum. And y'all, I got mad. 38 hot. I was aggravated, frustrated. Like, I wasn't just, oh, I'm mad. No, I was mad and wanted to argue you down about why you wanted to stay in a life that was no longer serving you, or staying in circumstances that you have to complain about every day because you're struggling every day. And I could not understand that concept. And it was because I wasn't prepared to see what they were prepared to see. See, they were prepared to see the struggle and strife. They were prepared for that. I was not. And I couldn't comprehend it. And I didn't want to. And so I sought out different. And because I was seeking out different, I assumed that they wanted to seek out different. And I assumed that that's what they wanted to, when they made it very clear that that's not what they wanted. Does it make me any better? Does it make them any better? It just makes me understand. People only see what they're prepared to see. Now, once I understood that, my relationship with my friends changed. I came to them for what they were willing to offer to me. But if I wasn't prepared to see what they were prepared to see, then I'm angry and I'm aggravated because I can't understand the smallness of your life that you want to live. I wasn't prepared to see that. Just like they are not prepared to see the greatness of life that I want. People only see what they're prepared to see. And so I can't get mad and angry because they want here and I want here. And the tug of war is hard because you have that, if you want to call it a soul tie, if you want to call it a connection, your family ties, whatever, because they gave you your foundation and so you're attached. And so the minute you try to go up and go higher, they say, hey, JoJo, where you going? Come back. Because we're all here. We don't understand why you're going here because they're only prepared to see here. And what's my quote, y'all, that I just came up with? And I'm going to put this back up here. And Lynn typed it out for me. Hold on one second. They can't love me to my level of my faith. They can only love me to their level of their faith. Meaning they can only love me to what they are prepared to see. They can only love me to what they can understand. They can't love me to my faith. They can't love me to what I see. So they take me as far as they can take me. And then when I go here and they trying to pull me here, that is then my opportunity to redefine the relationship I have. Like, I can't be tied to you now, but I can go, let me go see. But when I come back, I can come back and visit, but I can't stay. I can't no longer live here because here doesn't serve me. And as your friend, I can't serve you here either. That's why we complain together. That's why we struggle together, because we were on the same. But if people only prepared to see what they can see, what they want to see, and I see different, I've got to go here so that I can maybe tell you some things, as Rosie says, be a space giver, and I call myself a seed planter. So when I go here, I can plant seeds, and hopefully they drop back down, and it's something that's going to help you be prepared to see something different. But for now, I can't stay here with you. And people grow at different times. They grow at different levels. But when I'm here, I have the opportunity to redefine my relationship with you, because now my expectation of me is not forced upon you. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm getting mad at people who are not growing at my level, who are not faithing at my level, whose spiritual growth and eye-opening, awakening experience is not on my level. And I'm wondering, why are you not urgently seeking this knowledge? People only see what they're prepared to see. And my sister, they don't want to see it. They can't comprehend that yet. And it's okay. Doesn't make you any better, any less. It simply means that as you seek more and higher, you have the opportunity to redefine that relationship. So now I have better friendships with my friends because now I understand the dynamics. They are not prepared to see what I see, and I'm not prepared to accept what they see. And that is okay. I had to be okay with that, and I had to be okay with them wanting to stay here and me wanting to go here. And so now I come and visit, and I say, hey, girl, how you doing? And I have those not mind taxing conversations. I have those conversations where I just, as my daddy say, shoot the shit. You know, it doesn't involve my brain power. And it's just, you know, a general relaxed conversation. And I have those conversations where I can call and I can talk about the depth of the spiritual stuff that I'm on another level with, or the awakening that I feel, or how my understanding of religion and life has changed. I have people that I call for that because they are at my level of faith. They are at my level of understanding, and they are prepared to see what I see. They are prepared to accept what I can see. And not only that, I am prepared to accept and see more beyond that. Y'all, this was so not my topic today. This is not my topic today. People only see what they're prepared to see. Ralph Waldo Emerson. People only see what they are prepared to see. And they can only love me to my level of faith. Yes. Oh my goodness. Come on, Sister Beverly. Talk to me. The right way had it. Yes. And guess what? Sometimes that's a hurting feeling, especially where you said, so I see manipulation that before I was being hoodwinked back by. Ain't that a hurting feeling? And it's hurtful because you would not accept that from other people. People are not prepared to see what I see. And it is so frustrating when I am seeking that conversation where I need somebody to speak to my soul. And the people I'm with can't speak to my soul. It will make you cry. Like, I'm getting teary-eyed right now. It will make you cry because I am urgently seeking that conversation, urgently needing it. But if the people around you can't speak to your soul, my sister, my brother, then you simply find the people that can speak to your soul. And it is hurtful when you realize the people around. And I don't know if they did it on purpose, Beverly. I don't know if they unintentionally do it, or it's just the fact that they're not prepared to see what you want to see. They're only prepared to see what they want to see. And so because of that, that's it. They can't love me to my faith level. And I had to be okay with that. And I had to feel all the feelings. I had to cry. I had to have my feelings hurt. And I had to put my big girl panties and get over it. And I had to do all of those things first. And I had to also accept the fact that some of them may not continue on in this life with me. Meaning, as I'm seeking that soul conversation with my other sisters, that friends that I've had for 20, 25 years may not be a part of that conversation. They may not be a part of that life. And I had to be okay with that. And that hurt like hell. I ain't even lying. And we lose people because of growth. Because Here's what, y'all know what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Maybe we can have, let's talk about this. Maybe I'll pose this question today. Let me write this down. This is what I don't understand. If you are a child of the God, child of the King, and I am in His and I am made in His creation, that means I am co-creator. Yes. Oh my God, ain't it hurtful? Like I had the biggest pity parties over friends that I felt like didn't want to see me grow. I cried. Like, oh, and get mad because y'all don't want to be my friend because, oh my God. But here's something, let's talk about this. If you believe in God, the Creator, the Great One, the Spirit, the all-knowing, the all-seeing, whatever you want to call Him, her, it, the universe, whatever you want to call it, if you believe it, and it says that you have faith of a mustard seed, right? That's all you got to have to do the things that you need to do. Here's my question. You got to have the faith of the mustard seed, right? Eventually, the mustard seed must grow. And the funny thing about the mustard seed, it is the tiniest seed you will ever find, but it is the strongest tree that there ever was. At what point are you going to go from the seed to the tree? At what point are you going to allow yourself to be watered and to grow and to prosper into the tree that you were meant to? Or are you simply just going to stay outside of your purpose? How long are you going to stay just a seed? A seed is just a seed if it's not planted and watered and allowed to grow. If you y'all know the story in the Bible, how the man put seeds on the side of the mountain. Y'all know the story. If you lay a seed outside and it's not in the ground and it's not watered and it's not covered up and it's not allowed time to be isolated and to grow, what happens? It dries out and it dies. So if you have the faith of a mustard seed, when are you going to allow yourself to be watered to grow into the tree that you are meant to be? So are we going to say that we're seeds forever? Are you going to stay a seed forever? That's a good question. What y'all think about that? If you have the faith of a mustard seed, because that's what the Bible says, right? It's the smallest seed. But when it's placed in the ground, watered and allowed to grow, it is the strongest tree. Gives the most shade, lives the longest. But are you just going to stay a seed? Which brings me back to the quote of the day. People only see what they're prepared to see. They are only prepared to see the seed. They are only prepared to stay a mustard seed and not a mustard tree. Different concept. I started out one way. We started out here, honey. We started out here. I was prepared to see you here. But as I go up here, I'm prepared to see something else. And because I'm wanting to see something else, I'm no longer prepared to see myself here. And it is okay. I cannot be the only Live Past Crazy specialist staying here with you, my sister. I cannot. I have got to go and make a way for you. And if y'all missed my video about being on the water and the things I learned about being on the water, let me just tell you the quick story. On the boat, there's 6 boats, individual boats, and we got the leader. A to the man barely. And you got the leader out there, and the leader of the 6 boats tells you, he said, I'm going to go ahead. You may not see me. He said, but I'm going to leave a clear track through the water, right? If you follow the clear track through the water, you'll be okay. But if you get off track, the waves are going to be rocky and bumpy. But if you get back on track and follow me, it's going to be smooth sailing. Now, if you're the last boat in line, there are people in front of you that's going to give you signals that let you know you are continuously on the right path to your destination. Because when he told us where he was going, I couldn't see the destination. I couldn't see the islands that we were going to go visit in a little boat. I couldn't see that. All I saw was a vast ocean of water and me on a little boat with a 22-year-old driving me. That's all I could see. That's all I was prepared. Father God, look at this. This is all I was prepared to see, was me in a little boat in a vast ocean. I could not see my destination. And I could not understand nor comprehend this man telling me he's going to go off and leave me in the middle of an ocean. And all I got to follow is the little clear strip in the water from him, and to follow the clues of other people. What? I wasn't prepared to see that. But when I got out on the ocean, y'all, where the Caribbean and Atlantic meet, because at first it was smooth sailing. And then when I lost sight of him, we got into the Atlantic Ocean and the waters were rougher. I had to depend on those who were in front of me to give me the sign, speed up, stop, slow down. I had to depend on that. And the more I depended on the people who had paved the way, made the path clear, and I stayed in their path, then I could see the islands. Then I could see the destination. Then I understood that I was prepared to see something different. Then I saw what I was prepared to see. As long as my faith and my mindset was focused on, oh my God, look at this vast ocean. Oh my God, look at this fear. Oh my God, look at this situation. I wasn't prepared to see my destination. And because I wasn't prepared to see my destination, I allowed my fear to keep me here. And so as my sister's keeper, as the only live past crazy specialist, I've got to go be the leader. And y'all, we did a whole show on this earlier this week. Please make sure you go back and watch it, where I've got to be okay that I got to go and be the leader. And because of that, I'm leaving you 5 steps to live past crazy, the girlfriend's retreat, the book signings. I'm leaving you steps to follow me along the way so we don't stay here. So we're no longer the seed. We've got to be the tree eventually. When are we going to stop being the seed? Because eventually that can't be my excuse. Oh, I got the faith of a mustard seed. Thank you, Lord. No. He said you got to have the faith of a mustard seed. Even the seed, know it got to go somewhere to grow. Else it's going to dry up, wither, and die right where you are. Right with the same story. Right with the same aggravation. Right with the same mental mindset. With the same. People are only prepared to see. They only see what they're prepared to see. So if I'm only prepared to see and understand myself as a seed, that's where I'm going to go. And as your sister's keeper, as the only live past crazy specialist, I saw myself as a seed, but I realized I had to be planted. And I went through a period of isolation. Anybody on this spiritual growth journey, live past crazy journey, you know there's a period of isolation that you have to go through to understand you, to understand where you're going, how you're going to get there, and how you're going to lead the people. I may not have been the lion, but the lion's roar has fell upon me. That means I may not have asked for the load that I have, but it has been given to me. And so now I've got to do something about it. I've got to live that whisper out loud. And now that the lion's roar has fallen upon me, I've got to do the roar. And my roar is simply a statement. And my statement is, I am my sister's keeper. My statement is, I'm no longer a seed. I am the mustard tree. And so for me to be the tree and no longer the seed, I've got to be prepared to see something different. And I got to go and make the way. Y'all go back and watch that video. I cried all throughout it because I got my whole life. People are only prepared to see what they want to see. And it's not my fault that that's what they want to see. And I can't hold myself responsible for trying to drag them out of, like, I can't force you and I can't drag you to want to be a tree. I can't drag and force you. I can simply offer you a safe place to grow, my sister. And my 14-year-old told me that, she said, Mommy, you are a space giver. And she explained this to me. She said, you are a safe place for people to come and dream and think and share. So I'm a space giver. That is what The mustard seed gives shade. It gives the best shade. It is a safe place through all the storms. The mustard tree is the safe place to go up under. So I am a space giver. I am your free space, my sister. If you, whatever you need to share, whatever you need to release and let go, I had to go and be the tree to be your safe place so that you could grow and be a tree yourself. The goal is not for you to stay where you are. And as the only Live Past Crazy specialist, it is my responsibility. It is my honor to share with you things, my growth process, so that you don't have to stay where you don't have to stay there. Not if you don't want to. And then for those of us, people only see what they're prepared to see. For those of us who are prepared to see something different, we are not prepared to see what others see on the seed level. We will not submit to. We're not supposed to. We are prepared to see something different. That's why you're the tree and you're no longer the seed. This was so not my topic this morning. A to the man. But I hope this has helped somebody. I done got my whole life this morning. Right. Speak to it, Miss Beverly. Because let me tell you something. Let's break it down right here, since Beverly's going to take me there. That strive, that anxiety, and the things that you conditioned as a little girl or as a young woman, it is meant for seed life. And it's hard now, and you're having that anxiety, and you're having that pull and that tug of war now, because you're trying to live a seed life when you were never meant to just be a seed. The people around you, people only prepared to see what they want to see. The people around you can only understand seed. But you know you were not meant to be that. Whatever they are training and conditioning you for, in the back of your mind, you know it's not you. Since I was 5, I've known that. And I don't know how I knew, but at 5, and I don't know why at 5, but at 5, I knew I was different. I knew I was different from my family. When my mother told me things, I said, I already knew. She's like, how did you know? I was like, I don't know, but I knew. I already knew. I knew at 5 that the life that I saw was not mine. And I wasn't going to accept it. And so you get the anxiety and the stress because they are loving you to their faith level, right? And they're not going to be able to love me to my faith level. And I understood that. And so the more you try to accept somebody else's level of faith for your life, the more anxiety, the more stress, the more you are going to feel the struggle, the more it's going to be difficult. You cannot stay the mustard seed forever. Eventually, your faith of a mustard seed must be planted. It must grow into the mustard tree. Jesus never meant for you to stay the seed. If you read the Bible and you put it in everyday terms, everything Jesus talks about is simply growth. It is simply personal growth. It is simply, my sister, here is your knowledge. Take it and apply it. It is simply, JoJo, here's your thought and your idea. Now go and apply it. It is, the Bible is a leadership manual. It is a real estate manual. It is a financial manual, because he says, these are the leadership tools that you need to go grow. This is how the finances are going to line up, because Jesus talked about money. This is how it's going to line up for you to grow. If you have this, the least you could do, he said, is put it somewhere so it can multiply at least 1. So do you think he put you here just to be the seed when he said we were co-creators? At 5, I knew. 5, I knew I was different. And I can't explain how I knew that, but me knowing that at 5 has guided me all the way through life. That's why it was easy for me not to give in to peer pressure, because I knew I was different. People only see what they are prepared to see. And at 5, I knew what I saw was not what it was. It wasn't. It wasn't. It may have been, and I don't know how to explain this. I knew what I saw wasn't for me, but I knew what I saw was for some people. And I knew that they weren't going to get past that point. And as an adult, it frustrated me and it angered me, because I want them to be prepared to see more, but they are only prepared to see here. And here is the struggle and strife when you don't have to be. But I can't force it, because your faith can only take you so far. Your faith can only take you so far. So if you stay in that faith of the mustard seed growth, and here's the thing, you can stay in that faith of mustard seed growth when you are applying it to different seeds. So I got the faith of a mustard seed that the Live Past Crazy Girlfriends retreat is going to be amazing. I have the faith that that's going to grow. I have the faith of the mustard seed that I'm going to be my sister's keeper. That's going to grow, and it's going to be a tree. It's not going to be a seed, because if a seed is not planted, it's going to wither up and die. People are only prepared to see what they can see. And it's not, and I had to get over the hurt feeling. And it's okay to understand that they can't love me to my faith level. They can't go with me to my faith level. That's what your purpose partners are for. They help take what you see here to help you see it here. And I'm going to at least multiply that. That's what he said in the Bible. And if we're going to live by the word, he said, he got mad. Jesus got angry. He said, just don't go to bed. He said, you can get angry. He got mad. He said, the least dog you could have did was put it in a bank and let it drop interest. The least you could do, my sister, is to think about your idea. Don't let your age, your attitude, don't allow your current circumstances to stop you from planting your seed. Why would you let that stop you? I don't care if I'm 70. If the good Lord give me an idea, I'll be 70 planting that seed. I'll be 70 growing a tree. People only see what they're prepared to see. And it is my hope and desire that I give you something to see something different. And that I plant a seed along the way that's going to turn into a tree for somebody. You're meant to be different. And I had to be okay with that. That was the hardest thing, because for me, I always wanted to fit in. Always. And then I didn't understand why I didn't fit in. I didn't fit in with the other first ladies. Tried that. Been a first lady twice. I didn't fit in with the other first ladies. I didn't fit in with the nerds. I played sports, but I didn't fit in with the athletic type. And I couldn't find my space. It's because my space hasn't been defined. I defined my space. My space is defined by me. Period. And I was never meant to fit in. And my sister, on this growth journey, on your faith journey, on your Christian walk, whatever you want to call it, you got to be prepared. Good morning, Kitty Lynn. Thank you. You got to be prepared to see things different. And then you got to also be prepared to understand that people are not going to see what you see. And you've got to be prepared to accept that. And you got to be prepared to understand that you weren't made to fit in. You are your own space. You are your own tree. You are your own individual seed. You are allowed to grow. As a seed, the whole objective of a seed, of a mustard seed, is to allow it to grow. You, my sister, are allowed to grow. And as your sister's keeper, it is my job to make sure that I leave the steps along the way. You are allowed to grow. This was so not my topic this morning, but I hope it has helped somebody. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to grow and be great, period. So on this Fearless Friday, Freedom Friday, people only see what they're prepared to see, and that's Waldo Emerson for the quote today. This is so not my topic for today, but it was so needed for me. Something that I needed. Please make sure you share the show, because sharing is caring. I didn't mean to cry on y'all either, but y'all know how it goes. And this is my new quote. People cannot love me. They can only love me to their faith level. They can't love me to my faith level. And I got to be okay with that. And that faith of a mustard seed. Amen, Beverly. Thank you. I received that. And that mustard seed faith simply means, and a seed, y'all, was meant to be planted and to grow. That's what it means. You were meant to be the tree. You were meant to be the leader. You were meant for that thing. Don't doubt that. Don't doubt it, because that's what you're supposed to do. All right, guys, I'm so well past my time, but I appreciate everybody joining me. Please make sure you share the show. If your friends and family do not have Facebook, don't forget we have a YouTube channel where you can binge watch all the Fearless Morning shows over there. The Girlfriends Retreat, August the 23rd through the 25th, will be in Clearwater, Florida. I don't care if only 5 women show up. I don't care if 2 show up. The event will happen and lives will be changed, period. It will happen. And I am prepared to see. I understand that I'm different. I understand that I am the space that I was seeking. I am the space I was seeking. So I hope this has helped somebody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing Friday. It's going to be a great weekend. Please be safe out there. If you guys have any questions, or if you want to know where I'm going to be at for July and August, I did post a picture of all the places I'm going to be for July and August. And in September, I think I'm coming home to speak but I'm not sure. I'm waiting on a confirmation for that. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. And I'll see you here bright and early on Monday morning. Have a good one.